Oh, I got a lot to tell you today. So I've been talking with Lynn Haven officials, and I have written some public record requests that I'm going to share with you. And I've invited David Switzer back. He is the rabble rouser who does his research, no matter what anybody says.
I've learned we both do that.
That's right. That's right. We both do. And we're doing our best to just simply ensure that the first thing that we're doing is, well, I guess I speak for myself, but we've talked about it. So I want to make sure the city follows the law, especially with regard to confidential information, because Florida's different. Florida has a state statute that treats all data and photos that have personal identifying features on them. PII, what is it? Personal identifying
information.
Yep. Yeah, and it does. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you statute. I'm going to show you exactly how you can find out if your license plate is in the hot list. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And you can screenshot my example and find out. But here's what I know. The city of Lynn Haven has 22,000, is a population of 22,000. And they had 21,000 hits. Hot list license plate hits. Now, I want you to understand, they say it is to keep to track criminals, right? For assault, for child abductions. Dude talks weird when he talks about children. All that stuff. But guess what? They're putting everybody in. They don't have to. You don't have to have probable cause to be stuck in their hit list, as Commissioner Jamie Warwick calls it. Now, here's the worst part of all. When they just throw you in this hot list, and Lynn Haven does evidently quite a bit, they don't need any legal reason, no probable cause. Then they share it with 1,500 agencies. So you are tracked in real time on Bayrock and in every county. So if you drive, I don't know, to Pensacola, if you drive across the country, you could be in real time flagged and pulled over in every county in every city across the country. David, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. And Bernie, first off, I want to thank you for having me on again.
You're welcome.
Like I told you before, it is nice to hear you cover this. And I've kind of felt alone in it a little bit. Although it's been really interesting for me. One thing that appeals to me is just so interesting, all the twists and turns that this thing takes. But before I go any further, on a personal note, I'm getting to know Bernie a little bit personally. I think everybody needs to like and share and leave a comment happy anniversary to Bernie and Sarah Moon. They celebrated their first anniversary,
right.
Although they've been together over a decade.
Yeah.
So happy anniversary. And
she finally did. She finally said yes. Yeah, I've been asking her, dragging her heels.
Yeah. Women have it tough. Men have it pretty easy with a good woman.
And she's the brains behind the outfit. She really is. I'm just the arm candy, as you know.
Yeah.
But
so whenever love wins, I think that's something to celebrate. So
well, I'm going to show a few things, and you're not going to want to admit. I mean, I'm really going to show you stuff. This is going to be one of those shows where you're going to have all the information you need to find out if you're on the hot list. And you're going to see the statute and understand why it applies. Again, I hope that the Lynn Haven city officials are watching, because I'm going to break it down for you. I mean, everybody is going to comply with this because it's the law, and you'll see why. Look, I had an exchange. I've been on Commissioner Sam Peebles quite a bit today. I've named him, and because he has a cybersecurity clearance. And he's a government contractor, and he knows better, or he should know better. So I sent him an email, and to his credit, he replied to that email, and he said he's going to look into it more. So I wrote him back a very detailed, and you're going to have it, a very detailed email that lays it out point by point, names the statute, names the case law, all of it. You're going to have all of it. Let me thank our sponsors. We're going to come back, and we're going to get right. We'll get right to it.
Strong, effective leadership. Three words that could mean the difference between prison and your freedom. I'm Al Saleen, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. All right, so let's start off with the AI database cameras, the flock cameras. There are 4 of them in Lynn Haven, but I mean, they're very busy. There are more than 160 throughout Bay County, and you are tracked, cataloged, downloaded, stored, shared. Their AI technology has a dossier on you, and probably more than 1,500 agencies do as well. All right, but if you are, and you don't know if you are, because it's not just for criminals, it's for anybody. If your license plate and vehicle identifiers are in a hot list and you don't know if they are or not, but I'm going to show you how to find out.
Bernie, can I say something?
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you're in this video. I'm going to show it right now. You're the one who pointed this out to everybody.
When it comes to my grassroots, it's as grassroots as it gets. I started DFlock Lynn Haven, and I would do this if I had 0 followers. The reason that I'm doing this is to persuade county and city officials to remove flock. And I'm not doing a very good job. I haven't felt like I'm doing a good job. When I was very young, I was in my my late teens, early 20s. I was a teacher. And I took an example of some of the teachers in my life who motivated me. And if I could get people to just crack the book, I felt successful.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you crack the book is all of a sudden something happens. You start reading and comprehending and understanding, and critically, if you're smart, critically thinking about things. So when I hear, Sam on Saturday say, what's an ALPR? And this thing's been around for 6 years, and the whole time that he's been up there,
he's voted on it.
Yeah. What's an ALPR? I'm like, man, I'm doing a terrible job. So I'm going to speak up more. I kind of backed off a little bit because my wife was like, hey man, your personality's changing a little bit. You gotta back off. So I've gone from furious to serious about this. But my point is, I want them. I don't want to go to they suggested on Tuesday that I go talk to Chief Blanchard.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could do that, but I don't want to do that.
You shouldn't have
I want to talk to them. They're the ones who voted on this, not Chief Blanchard. They're the ones that can pull this thing down or seriously micromanage this thing so that it resolves some of my concerns. I really want these things gone. That's my number one priority. Yeah. I don't want to micromanage. I don't want to have to worry about it, but I just wanted to share that.
Well, here's what I always want, David. I always want, and my goal, and I've always thought it would be really cool to do a show like this, where if you and I had an issue that we wanted to debate, say it's a half-hour show. This is what I've always wanted to do, is I debate your side and you debate my side for the first half of the show. And then we take our own side, because only then do we have clarity that each person really understands the issues.
Yeah.
When I first started getting curious about all this stuff, it was more than a quarter of a century ago. And I didn't know anything about politics. And I've shown David the book. I have a book called The Moral Imagination. And I didn't know anything about affirmative action, abortion, none of the issues, minimum wage. And so I read the best arguments on both sides. I wanted to be able to know both sides. John Stuart Mill says, if you only know, or he says, he who only knows his side of the case knows little of that. So if you don't know both sides, you don't understand the issue. And this is where my frustration is shared with yours. When you have the mayor, who I like and respect, David Lowry, who is, Dr. David Lowry, who teaches college, and he is not using his critical thinking skills, and he is making arguments that are incomplete and inaccurate. David Lowry cannot make your argument. Sam Peebles is still figuring out what ALPR is. Jamie Warwick, I don't know what the hell. But until you guys, instead of just arguing and taking a side, until you can make the argument why Florida Statute 316.0777 doesn't mean what it says and does not apply to the data and information that you are capturing on your AI data cameras from the company Flock. If you don't understand why that is confidential and why by law there are constraints you have about what you can do with it, and right now you're violating the law. And if you can't explain that, and I sent Sam, I'm going to show you all of this in a minute. I sent Sam Peebles an email today, Commissioner Peebles, and his answer was so dumb. And he wrote me back and he said, I need to apologize. I was wrong about it. Okay, well, here is the answer. Now go research it, run it by legal, and you'll find out that what I'm saying is true. But David, until we can say each other's argument, we don't understand the issue. And I know you can say their side of the argument, but can they say yours?
Yeah.
Let me show you what happened about these.
I am happy to hear that it's sinking in, because this is it is a serious matter. The more on the surface, it looks so innocent.
I don't know. People don't like it, but it's, they're not exactly sure why it's legal. They have a sense that it can't be. And because Florida passed a certain statute, it really helps us. Look, this is David Switzer at the town hall last Saturday, talking about the hot list and how many times it went off in in Lynn Haven. But it starts off with back in December, when you've got the Flock data rep, the Flock rep explaining what a hot list is. Understand, you're probably on it. Oh my gosh. I just did it. I'm sorry. All right, that's not what I meant to push. You'd think after a while, David, I would get good at this.
Bernie, I'm going to tell you something. Back in my days when, I used to make fun of you, I would thought watching Bernie work with technology is like watching Bambi walk for the first time.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I mean, it's amusing.
But you know why? Because I'm one guy trying to do too much,
Yeah,
and it really cracks me up that I just did that. I know my wife right now is just shaking her head, but all right, I'm about to play for you what I meant to play for you, what I thought I was playing for you. And we're going to get through this.
Yes.
Because we're on the right side of history. Here we go. Is that playing? Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. All right, here's what's happening. And I have a witness. So that actually was not my fault.
Screen froze. Happens all the time.
And I did not want to restart the show, so we're just gonna hit it right now. This is the clip I've been trying to play for you, but yeah, everything froze up. I hope you're still here and with me. Let's
So
go.
license plate readers take a one-time photo of the back of a vehicle. And so as you can see here, what happens is if your police department uploads a plate into what's called a hot list, that is when it will alert the department. So if I'm driving down the road and I'm not on the hot list, I will not alert the departments.
So the hot list has 20,000 hits.
All right, so we're going to carry through. You got pilot mouth problems and actually equipment, but I think we're back on track. David, tell me about that? 21,000 hits in Lynn Haven.
I want to give you a backstory on these statistics, because in January I asked for this kind of data. I got a response back from the city of Lynn Haven that the deputy chief was working on this for 3 days. He wasn't going to do it anymore, and he had to charge me. The charge would have been over $4,000 to get the data that is now on the flock transparency.
It's this.
Yeah. That's part of on the flock transparency. It's all the stuff that I was talking about with 150 unique hits, the success stories, all of that. They wanted to charge me $400,000, not $400,000, about $4,000. And I think it was a little bit over that. So, wow. So I even cut and paste, just like a screenshot of a city in Colorado who has the flock transparency model. So they got that in January. Now I know why they don't want to share this, because in a world where, Florida's a red state, we're definitely the panhandle red as you can get. So you think theoretically, if that's the case, little or small limited government, and they didn't want to publish that they shared. It was 15,000. Now on the app, they sent me a spreadsheet, or 15,000 agencies. They sent me a spreadsheet, so it's easier to see the number, but I'm not about to scroll through 700 lines on that.
Well, hold on. It's 21,000 hits in the last 30 days. If you're on the hot list, 21,000 plate hits.
So you know what that means?
But it was shared with 1,500. I just want to, it's easy to misspeak. 1,500. Yes. You're the one who found that out for us too.
Yeah. 1,500 agencies, including federal agencies.
Yep.
Thank you. So I don't think, Bay County, you're not as red as you think you are if you support flock. You are not a small government thinker if you support flock.
I got to say, and I don't mean to make it partisan, but we might as well talk since it's just us. I don't view this as a Democrat Republican issue, and I know conservatives tend to say we're for smaller government, but if you look around, I mean, even with this federal administration, everything, the totalitarian impulse to watch everybody runs through all their veins. I'm a nonpartisan. I'm an independent. I had to divorce the Republican Party twice in my life because I insist on everybody following the law and the government following the law, applying the law to everybody equally. But Bay County is especially bad when it comes to surveillance. And Republicans here are doing it. And what I think, the way I view this is I don't view, and I think you'd feel the same way too, based on our conversations. I don't view most of these issues as Republican versus Democrat. I view them as insiders versus outsiders. And we're on the outside. And that might explain why you have people like Jamie Warwick, who is so fired up about the hot list and all these other things. And he should know better. He's also a government contractor. He's got more accountability to follow the law when it comes to this confidential information that they have on all of us. But I have to give credit where credit's due as well. Jamie Warwick, Commissioner Warwick, is the one who got the transparency portal, right?
Yes.
So he deserves credit for that.
He's been proactive in talking with Chief Blanchard about this, and I think he was talking to Chief Deputy Infinger as well.
I want to get into why it's confidential. Okay, So there are more than 160 flock cameras linked to AI in Bay County. Now, these are important points, okay? And these are the points that city officials don't yet understand. This is straight from Florida Statute 316.077, 3A. Images and data containing or providing personal identifying information obtained through the use of an automated license plate recognition system is confidential. Now, there's a key here. When you read law, it says, first of all, this is really important. It says images and data containing, and since it says or, you can just pass over that part. Images and data obtained through the use of automated license plate recognition system is confidential. But this also says or providing personal identifying information. So if they get either one of them, that information is confidential. But what if they get both? That in law, I believe, is officially called a double whammy. Okay? Take a look at this. Flock's vehicle fingerprint is AI technology that captures unique identifiers such as bumper stickers, dents, toolboxes. Now, the term unique identifier, that's a very important term. Yeah. And people who have secret clearances, people who are cybersecurity professionals, they're very familiar with the term unique identifier. Now, these unique identifiers, like the dents, like the bumper stickers and the toolboxes that are captured in these pictures through Flock's vehicle fingerprint, they're considered personal identifying information because they can track you by characteristics instead of by license plates. Even if you don't, it's a license plate reader, but it's not just that. So when they say we're only taking license plate, no, there's a second factor. It's double layered. Flock says, and I'm going to show this to you right now. Flock says, no plate, no problem. Pinpoint suspect vehicles. If you're on the hot list, you are a suspect vehicle, and you don't have to have probable cause. They just put whoever they want on the hot list. Using unique vehicle traits to save time. That's their words. Flock recommends using these vehicle fingerprints so when they go to search, when an officer or anybody goes to search, they can just say 1990 blue Toyota bumper sticker dent here, and they don't even start with the license plate. They can track you without that. And I'm going to show you where they brag about that. So this right here is very, very important. That's the actual statute up top. Okay, images and data containing or providing personal identifying information contained through the use of automated license plate recognition system. This is statute 316, it's right there, .077, is confidential and exempt in the state of Florida. Look at their own graphic, vehicle fingerprint, no plate, no problem. Pinpoint suspect vehicles using unique vehicle traits to save time. Unique vehicle traits are personal identifying information. They can find you without your license plate. That's a selling point. And it even says below that, it encourages them to search or set up alerts just with the characteristics. You don't need the license plate. So what I have just shown you and established, and I want to hear what you think about this, is, I mean, you can say it doesn't mean what it says. You can say you interpret it different. But that means that your information that is being obtained by cities and counties in the state of Florida by these ALPRs, automated license plate readers, are confidential. And they're taking it. They won't give it to you, but they'll give it to everybody but you. It's not our communities. It's everybody's community but ours, David.
Well, tell me how that jives with the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, effects against unreasonable searches and seizures.
Yep.
So effects, the Supreme Court has said, includes a vehicle as well. So that's my effect. So I feel less secure with Flock. Yeah. Knowing all of this, like I kind of got onto this at the beginning too, where They don't need a license plate. It's like it's smoke and mirrors.
It is.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Sleight of hand.
And it's if you have to do that tactic, that's dishonest. And where we have a society that's craving for like moral leadership and honesty and true transparency and accountability, you just can't have that here. So with their fake wording and their smoke screens. So
yeah, if you've got to do intellectual gymnastics to justify this, and you're not going to be able to, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show it to you. I might as well show you this.
I was going to say the 21,000 hits per month. Well, let me talk about the database.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the database.
Yeah.
The
So what happens after they take the picture? It's just a point and shoot picture, David.
Yeah.
Anybody can stand and take a picture, but they leave the rest of the story out.
Oh, I'm working on a theory called the Pono theory, and it's going to include that. I haven't developed it fully, but I'm getting close. Now, where were we on that?
You were going to talk about the database and what they do with the AI database.
Let's start with the baseline. Billions of pictures nationwide. I would say hundreds of billions of pictures nationwide gathered in a pool. That is an active pool, meaning new pictures and AI fingerprints of vehicles comes in every day, and the 31st day drops off. So you have 30 days. The police have 30 days of that. When they run without a license plate, when they run, I'll just call it an AI Google search in Flock: red truck, late model, dent, roof rack. That's when it pulls up out of these billions of linked database up into their 20,000. Now, if you have 20,000 in 30 days, they're getting 29 alerts an hour.
Yeah.
I get 2 or 3 beeps on my phone. I'm going crazy, like alerts. I don't know.
Yeah, something like 700 a day.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy amount of information. And
But let's talk about this, because Flock likes to say that the information on their cameras and on their cloud is hard deleted. All their images are hard deleted after 30 days. But do you know why that doesn't matter? Because as Lynn Haven, for example, and all of these different agencies, they're not using Flock's cloud. They're downloading it. That once they download it, they can keep it for as long as they want to, which is why we need to learn their policy. And you found out that if you're in Lynn Haven's hot list, you're in there for what, 3 years?
Yeah, that's what I read. And I think that's a state.
See, and the only way that can be done is because they are not just going to the Flock database. They are downloading this. It doesn't matter if Flock deletes it. Am I right? Then they're downloading it. So one of the big questions, let me show you right now, one of the big questions. So this is what I sent Sam today, Commissioner Peebles. You're going to see, this is very, very big here. So, all right. So Sam Peebles sent me an email, and he said he'll do a little more research on this. He's the cybersecurity professional, all right? Well, I said, Sam, I'm going to help you with this. Under Florida law, the question is not whether ALPR is sensitive as a practical matter or whether vehicles are photographed in public places. The controlling question for public records purposes is whether the legislature has made relevant records confidential or exempt by statute. That's case law. Florida has a statute specifically addressing ALPR data, license plate readers. That's the statute I keep citing. And it provides that images and data obtained through ALPR system, as well as personal identifying information generated from those images are confidential and exempt from public disclosure, and it limits disclosures to the conditions set out in the statute. So when records are confidential and exempt, the agency, like Lynn Haven, cannot release them except as the statute permits. This is all case law, all settled. Whether a particular ALPR scan record is confidential depends on whether it falls into the statute scope, not the interpretation, the scope of the statute, including the statute's coverage of images and data that contain or provide personal identifying information. How the city stores, catalogs, makes searchable, and shares those records, therefore, are therefore relevant to whether the data provides identifying information, even where the city does not attach DMV owner names or address fields. This is the rest of my email to Sam. Now, you tell me.
That last part is so meaningful because people try to say you can't get that information because of this and because of David. It's like, come on.
So so the argument that they're making that's not a good argument is that there's no DMV attached to it. So therefore, there's no personal identifying information. Well, we've established that the fingerprints are, according to Flock, and all of it. So here's the last part of this email I wrote to him. And look at these 4 questions that the city needs to answer. Now we're getting down to it. You in the city of Lynn Haven better catch up, officials. So I said, to help me narrow and refine my public record request, Commissioner Peebles, would you please ask the appropriate staff to confirm the following about the city's ALPR Flock configuration? What fields, this is important now, when somebody when one of the officers wants to look up a Flock information, what fields are retained for scan? Like when you guys download all this stuff from Flock, what fields are retained when it's scanned? All right, I need to look up this license plate. I'm a cop. Is it just the image? Is it the plate number? Is it the date and time, location? Is it all those fingerprint attributes? It is. They said it was at the December 30 meeting. It's all of it. Number 2, next question I need answered from the city of Lynn Haven. Does the system store and allow searching by vehicle descriptors? I already showed you that it does. Look. Vehicle fingerprint. Look in the middle. This is Flock's graphic that they presented to the city December 30th of last year. Search and set up alerts using characteristics alone. Look at the top. No plate, no problem. So I've already established that the system does store and allow searching by vehicle descriptors, personal identifying information, such as make, model, type, color, roof racks, bumper stickers, tool boxes, all of it. 3rd question we need answered. Is network sharing enabled? And if so, approximately how many external agencies have access to the city's ALPR records? We know it's more than 1,500 right now. Final question the city really needs to answer. Yes, absolutely.
For the network sharing enabled, you're talking about for the hot list specifically.
I'm talking about for everything. I want both questions answered. I want whatever you have stored. Is it, are you sharing everything or are you only sharing the hot list? I suspect they're sharing everything. Yeah. But I don't know. And they haven't been very forthcoming, but they're going to. And the final question is, does the city's ALPR system, license plate reader, display or store any DMV derived owner driver information? And if so, is that information shared outside the city? And then I have if yes, there's another thing I need. So I told Sam, Commissioner Peebles, if staff could provide a written response or a copy, and I've already asked for that in a public record request, that will help me narrow down my public record request. So do you think those are fair questions?
That is so thorough. I mean, it's
those details have to be answered.
I feel like the city of Lynn Haven thinks that putting the transparency portal up there was the answer.
What was the end all?
Yeah, that was the end. But it's like you keep saying, I'm in the first inning of this. And those questions are going to reveal so much. They're going to reveal so much about the hit list and how, I mean, that's what everybody wants to know, except the city doesn't want to tell you is the details, because they're so shocking. It's so shocking when you look at it. So I think those are great questions.
So this hot list,
I can't wait to hear the answers.
Yeah. This hot list, by the way,
I don't want to put the negative energy out there of what I think the answer is going to
You
be.
leave that to me. That's my job, David. So when it comes to negative energy, baby, that's how I got here. So where was I going with this? Okay, so the hot list. Are you on the hot list? Here's the law. I told you that the information they get is confidential. I can't get his information. I can't even get my wife's information. That's confidential according to the statute. But I can get my own. He can get his own. You can get your own. So let me ask you this. Is it reasonable for all of us, because if you drive through Lynn Haven, you could be, I mean, you don't have to be a resident to get this answer is what I'm saying. Is it reasonable to go up and ask, am I on the hot list? And they should be able to answer you. And by the way, I'm going to show you that I sent that public record request today. I'm going to show you how you can do it as well. But David, what if Commissioner Warwick sits there? What if, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to go up at a city council meeting. I already did it. They didn't answer me. Am I on your hot list? And then I'll just wait the next 3 minutes if I have to. I want a damn answer. I want you to tell me you'll get me an answer. Because what if, I'm telling you, there's not a, if my wife, if my best friend was the mayor or a commissioner, and they said, I can't tell you that, you need to be recalled. If they can't tell you if you're on the hot list, and by the way, if you send a public record request and they say, we're exempt from that answer, that means you're under investigation. They have to give a statutory reason for the exemption or the redaction. It should be pretty simple. Am I on your hot list or not? Everybody should be able to say yes or no. And if it's any harder than that, we got a real problem, don't you think?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, by the way, is because if they just put you in their hot list, you're in 1,500 hot list. You can't travel through cities and counties and states without constant real-time alert pings, and you get pulled over each time because you're pinging real-time alerts. They're putting you. Here's how my wife framed it last night, and it was perfect. Sarah Moon says, if you get put into the hot list just because someone puts you in there, you are now, the entire state is in hot pursuit of you. No matter where you drive, they get pinged. You're in hot pursuit everywhere you go. So you better tell us if we're on your hot list.
And Bernie,
tell us the story about the Colorado guy, by the way.
Yeah. What Bernie is talking about is not theoretical. This is real life things that are happening right now. So when he says these things, he's not just saying this, oh, I've, this is what could happen. This is happening. I read a story, an article about a gentleman in Colorado who is on the hot list. And speaking of the hot list, in the city of Lynn Haven, they're supposed to put a reason and a case number or a case number. And they don't do that according to their transparency documents online.
Let me prove that to everybody. Let me prove that. You don't know I have this. So he goes up there last Saturday at the town hall and he says, the flock guy said that every single search that the police do is listed. It's audited. So he said, according to your transparency portal, about a fourth of them or so are not. The field is left blank. And here's what Commissioner Jamie Warwick said about that. Watch this.
And that's why most law enforcement agencies limit the amount of folks that have access to the system.
We have all kinds of PII information in City Hall, people's phone numbers, addresses, date of birth, social security numbers, and that. And we know across the nation there are businesses and organizations and agencies where information gets leaked out. Like you're saying, it's our information.
And again, a reminder, every single search is logged. Every single search.
Sometimes when they're in the middle of inputting their stuff, it's not unusual for the system to go down.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's amazing. The system just goes down, David.
Yeah. You know what? You type in what it was and then you publish it. It's so simple. You know what, Jamie? I want to know, since the city of Lynn Haven has all that PII, do you share that with 1,500 other agencies and the federal government? I'd like to know that. I bet you feel that information is so it needs to be secure so well that you don't share it with anybody other than a filing cabinet.
I couldn't believe that the flock guy, Kerry McCormack, says every single time you can't get it unless it's in there. And then you go up and point out that they're not being listed. And the answer is sometimes the system goes down. This is the hot list.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Although these are searches. These were searches. Yeah. They're supposed to all be done with law enforcement reasons, but we know they are not.
Yeah. So the real world story is a gentleman in Colorado. This is recent. This is within the last few months. He was, his license plate was put on a hot list. The police department in Colorado, sheriff's department, I believe it was the police department or sheriff's department, doesn't matter. Law enforcement agency had put him in the hot list because his license plate had an O, and the person who had a warrant was a 0. So let's figure that one out. Now every time he's driving, he's getting pulled over when he hits a flock camera. It's happened to him multiple times to get this.
And not just in his city, anywhere in the country. You are in hot pursuit in the entire country once you're in the hot list because the information is shared.
Yeah. So he got pulled over. He got pulled over by the same policeman like the next day. And then the cop is like, kind of cool about it. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So this gentleman calls and says, hey, this is what's happening. And you think that somebody would kind of log in and say, delete. And then he's not going to have to worry about it. Right? No, they say, oh, we can't remove you from the hot list. You have to call another city to have them remove because they're the ones who issued the warrant or whatever. So now he's in a situation where
it's like Hotel California.
Yeah,
you get in, but you can't get out.
All over the place. Anywhere he travels, he's going to get hit. And what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to carry like his news article around with him and say, hey, it's a mistake, officer? So
listen, this is happening local. And look, I want to give you my email because I got a really interesting email. And I called and I haven't made contact with this person yet, but I know of several stories now of somebody who gets charged with a DUI, whether it's dropped or not. Maybe it's a nicer car. Maybe the husband has a nice car. The wife has a nice. Usually the wives have a nice car. And then the husband, she can't drive for a while. Then the husband says, I want to take the car with the good air conditioning. And he's driving around, but it's registered to her and she's got a DUI. They're getting pulled over every week here in Bay County. Because the car, I'm telling you, this is not fixable. It has to be abolished. Yeah. It's not fixable.
I have close personal friends of mine who that's happened to. Husband made a mistake, got his license taken away. They have 2 cars, his car and her car. She's like, oh, hey, it's the middle of summer. I'm going to take his car that has a nice air conditioning. And then, she's driving home, trips a flock camera, boop, lights pull up back, police show up behind her. She's walking into the house and her husband's arresting officer drives by and says, oh, I just wanted to make sure, your husband wasn't driving. It's like people can say, oh, well, that's their fault for he shouldn't have been drinking. No, that's not the case.
First of all, let me, how do I say this? So this is a bad stop. This is an illegal stop for law enforcement. Let's say, and I know somebody this happened to recently. This is all happening now. Let's say you got an officer riding behind you, and you're driving your friend's car or your wife's car, and the officer. I'll just say this particular case. The officer pulls beside the car, already ran the plate for no reason. Driver was driving fine. Officer pulls beside the car. Looks in and they have a picture of who the car belongs to. It's not the same person. The officer pulled over that person and said, you're not the owner of this vehicle. That is not, and the Supreme Court's weighed in on this. if she has no evidence that this car, like for example, if that car is the owner has a drunk driving, a DUI, and she looks over and his license is currently suspended and it's him, she can pull him over. But if she looks over and she has reason to believe it's not him, can't pull him over. She can't say, I'm pulling you over because I thought maybe you stole the car. It's a bad stop. It's a lawsuit if anybody wants to file it. And every police chief in our community needs to stop that shit. That's a bad stop. And that's what these flock cameras are putting everybody in that position. It's a bad stop. So when they say, David, the flock guy, Kerry McCormack, when he goes up there and he says, it belongs to the community. Who's the community? Is it you and me? Or is it the commissioners sitting up there rubbing their hands together because they're going to put you in the hot list for 3 years? It's bullshit. Yeah. And we shouldn't be fighting about this. Mayor Lowry, Commissioner Warwick, all of you, Commissioner Peebles, I just named 3 guys in the military. I'm former military. We all swore, and you did it again when you took office, to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Do it. Err on the side of liberty, understand the statutes, and stop fighting us when we don't need to be fighting. I mean, there's enough to fight about.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I can get back to fighting.
Yeah.
If we can get past this.
Take the gloves
I'm
off.
tired of you. You back and forth. Let me show everybody how you can get a public record request to see if you're on the hot list. This is a big deal. So this is what I sent today to the city of Lynn Haven. And you can screenshot this and you can, oh, geez, I think I put my actual, yeah, I did. My license plates on it. Oh, well, I hope you don't use it against me like you already have it. I meant to redact it. Son of a, I'm just going to leave it on there. All right. So I said, City Manager Lightfoot, this is what you do to find out if you're on the hot list. There's a public record request for a digital copy of all documents relating to my Florida license plate redacted for the past 30 days. This includes all unredacted flock images and video, including vehicle fingerprints and hot list data. I'm entitled to my stuff on my plate. Be sure to search across all departments and city use systems, including any law enforcement technology platforms. Please use the following search terms to help identify all public records requested. So now they are going to search this because sometimes they don't even try. You got to tell them, do that. If any portion of the requested records is withheld or redacted, please identify the statutory exemption they have to. That, if you copy and paste it or rewrite it, I guess you'll have to do exactly as is. That's all you have to do ever in the state of Florida. Public record request, put what it's about. I want a digital copy of all documents relating to my Florida license plate for the past 30 days. They've got to give that to me, and they have to give it to you. And if they don't tell you if you are on the hot list, you're in hot pursuit by law enforcement across the entire United States. Hey, Mayor Lowry, hey, commissioners, you can't allow that. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how many accolades you have. If you do not understand this, spend some time on it. We don't need to fight about this one. I mean,
I was just going to say, this is to the commissioners. This has only begun. You've done a little bit. Please crack the book and do your own research. Don't take Bernie's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Read it yourself and go through that process and then start talking about it. Don't approve something. I want them to stop this now. I was
the example city. Be the example city.
The mayor could come in and say, you know what, we're pausing flock today.
Well, he would have to get 2 other commissioners to agree, because really that's up to city manager.
Yeah. We could, they could, all of them. None of them know what this is.
They really don't. And again,
Judy's working on instinct.
yes.
She feels like it's creepy.
But they all should have the instinct of that. And that's what's really crazy, because she does have the right instinct. Look, David, I'm not joking, man. I've spent more than 50 hours this week deep in this.
Yeah.
And here's the truth. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. I know that right now, because again, I go back to John Stuart Mill. He who only knows his side of the case knows little of that. Until you can make my points, you don't understand the case. You don't understand the law. You will lose a lawsuit on this. Without a doubt, you will lose a lawsuit on this. And that's what it's going to come to if we don't just fix it. Can't we just focus on fixing the roads and the flooding problems and I mean all the important city stuff?
Yeah, from now on, I want them to forget about Lynn Haven history, all of the drama, and I want them to realize that they are the government. They are the ones who, where the founding fathers said, it's the nature of people to, once they get a little bit of power, to misuse it. That's you. That's not me. That's not Lowe's. That's not Home Depot. That's you. And you need to crack the book and learn about this stuff. If you don't know, maybe they do know. It doesn't seem like they do.
We don't need it. We don't need it to be challenged. It's going to be challenged. If you don't provide the public records to every single citizen about their own license plate, if there's any friction on this, there will be lawsuits. I'm telling you, quickly. For all the cities, when we simply say, hey, is my license plate in your hot list? You ought to be able to make a phone call and say yes or no. And if you have a line of 50 people at the next meeting asking, is my name on the hot list? And you don't answer, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, that's my dream. I'd love to see something like that. You know what? I have
troublemaker, man.
I've not even asked.
What the heck, man?
I've not even asked for my flock data. I work at home, so there's not going to be very much. And but I'm going to do that, and I want to know if I'm on the hot list too. So I'm going to do that.
We're all entitled to it, and I just wish we could just get along. I want to be a bunch of good Rodney Kings. Can't we just all get along on this? We shouldn't be fighting about this. All right, I think we've pretty much exhausted it. Yeah. Here's David's. Look, I'm not keeping up with this like he is. So follow the page. It's on Facebook. And by the way, you're pretty active. You've been posting quite a bit, and you've got.
I have been.
Look, you don't have a bunch of people, but you have a committed few, and that's as important as anything. I think.
I saw the number there.
That's
150. Yeah, but I'm at like 202. So
yeah,
you know what? Like I said earlier, I would do it if nobody was following it. But I have a lot of good information on there.
That's my philosophy too. People I've been doing this almost 20 years now, and people say, Bernie, you're not going to fix that problem. Sometimes we do, by the way, but 95% of the time we don't. And you know what my answer is? These things matter to me a lot. And so just because I can't fix it or make it right doesn't absolve me from doing all I can. That's the answer. I mean, we can lead all of them, to the water, but we can't make them think,
That's right.
But we have an obligation to try, and I appreciate you being here again.
Yeah,
we're going to keep doing this because look, we keep learning every time we come on. We keep bringing new information to help them along. Just like that email I sent those 4 questions I asked are pretty detailed.
They are.
And pretty important.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that.
All right. With that in mind, I'm going to say thank you to, of course, those who helped me do this. And that would be you. Those of you who are patrons, thank you. Patreon.com/Bernie Thompson, as little as $5 a month, just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. And those of you who help with PayPal, crowdfunding is everything. I mean, this is a real office. This is the Liberty Lounge. We're doing this in a real office, really trying to bring information to the community, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you to the Unknown Patriot, as always. And I guess that wraps it up, and I will see you soon. Thank you, David.
You have to have faith. You have to believe that we're in control of our own destiny, that you can save me, that I can save you. You have to have faith that any of this is true.